Okay, what we have here is a situation where I have a 2008 Honda Odyssey. This is a driver's side mirror, and somebody hit the mirror and broke off, if you can see here, broke off the pivot point for the breakaway mirror. Now, in looking, I didn't see any other videos that talked about this, and it looked like I was going to have to replace the entire unit to the tune of around between $200 and $300 for the whole unit. And granted, taking this off and replacing it in the car is quite easy, but I wanted to look for a little cheaper alternative. So what I've done is I have purchased on eBay a used mirror off of a same model car, Odyssey, and got that for like 40 bucks off of eBay. And I'm just going to show you a couple of the things. I'm sure you can figure out how to take these apart by looking at other videos, but a couple of things that I'm learning as I do this, so it's easier to swap this out. What I want to do is I need this part right here that's still intact, and I don't want the blue because my car is this color. So I want to take the intact shell off of this one and mate it with this one so that I have a completely redone mirror that'll cost me a total of $40. So the first thing I did after I got the used mirror is I started to take it apart so that I could see how it actually comes apart. There's no videos to do this really. There's some information on the Odyssey forums to replace or to remove this mirror. This is a heated mirror. This comes off of an EX, which is what I have as well. I don't know if that doesn't matter to you. It shouldn't make any difference in size. It looks pretty good. Now if you look here on the back, you'll see that this has clips. There's a clip here and a clip here and two pivot points right here. So the way this goes in the car, or the mirror, is this slides into the clip there and then snaps down into place. Taking this out was a little scary at first, but a flathead screwdriver, tipping this away, which we're going to do in just a second, I was able to pry that out, and it did unsnap relatively easy once I got to it. So that was the first thing, so that I could see the different parts of this. I also took off all the screws that were connecting, and I did cut the wiring harness because I knew that this unit worked, and so I know that the motors work and the electrical all works in here, so I didn't want to disturb that if I could. And since I'm learning and I wasn't going to keep any of the extra parts on this, I decided to cut the wiring harness just so that I could get to this and make sure I figured out how to take it apart, because this is going to be a detail of, there we go, of taking the whole thing up. To be able to get this shell off, you're going to need to disassemble this wiring harness, and we'll get to that in just a second. Okay, what I've discovered here, this is the end of that comes out of the back of the mirror itself. Here's what it looks like there. And so what I need to do is I need to take the wires out of this in order to take the rest of this apart. Now I'm not going to do this on this unit just because it's not going to be quite as easy to see, so I wanted to show you what I've figured out. If you take a precision screwdriver, this is a 1mm precision screwdriver, and you stick it into the slots that are in here, and this is going to be difficult to see because it's probably not going to stay in focus as much as I'd like, but if you stick it in there and you lift up just a little bit on the pins, on the plastic part, you'll be able to remove. It takes a little trial and error, which is why I was glad I had this used one here. You'll be able to remove each pin relatively simple. Now, you will want to make sure that you're putting them back in the exact same spot. So I've taken a picture of the layout so that I get everything back into the right order. This is an important detail that I've fortunately been able to discover on my own, and put this on here to make your lives a little easier in the future. Okay, so we're back to this is the part that I removed, or that I purchased off of eBay, and I just don't want to take any chances that I'm taking this off of a car where this particular unit doesn't work. So I really want to keep the electrical component from my original car. So by just unscrewing these and taking out the harness part, I can get rid of the electrical part. This is the part that I actually want. This is the intact piece, and this tube right down in here is what broke off on my old model. So now I have the part that I want. I just need to take the unit off of my car apart and put this part into it. Okay, so this part here is pretty simple. You're just going to pull this rubber boot off and then remove this wiring harness with these two screws. Now, as I remove the two screws, I can just simply lift this out. There's a little chase here for the wiring, and I will have loosened this up. Now I'm going to take and peel back this tape to expose the wires that I need to get to, so that I can remove them from this unit. The reason I have to take this piece off is because the access hole right there, if you can see it, is way too small to get this through. Once I have this removed, I can thread the wiring through exactly where I need it, and I'll be all set. Yeah, I've removed the tape from around there, and just to make sure, because I will be the first person to tell you that I am not a mechanic, and I don't want to make a mistake on my expensive car. So I'm going to mark on the back here where the two black wires go, so then I'll be able to orient everything else in this harness with no problem. I'm just figuring this out as I go along, and the more I've figured out, the more I realize that there really needs to be a YouTube video for this. So okay, so now I'm actually going to come through here after I've practiced on my old one, and I'm going to remove these wires so that I'll be able to thread this out the way I wanted. And it should be a relatively quick thing now that I've practiced. I will note that on the old one, the first time I tried to figure out how this works, I broke the wire, and that's why I wanted to do it on that one instead of my good wiring harness. I apologize. I don't like watching YouTube videos that have a lot of wasted time in them, but since I'm on a roll here, I'm going to just continue with removing these. Sure, and the last one wants to be stubborn. There it goes. Okay, so I remove this part. Now I have all my wiring, so I will be able to, let's zoom that back out. I will be able to remove that from my piece. Take the broken part off. You can see there where the pivot pin just sheared right off. And now I'm going to remove the inner workings of this so that I can get to this plastic housing and put the new piece down below. There is a screw on the bottom side that's going to hold the whole thing together. I've already removed that. So you want to make sure you take that off, or else this will never come completely apart. Okay, I need to take this mirror off, and it is a little bit on the tricky side when you first get started. Just in that I'm really afraid I'm going to break the mirror. But I already have the other one off, so if I break this one, I'm in pretty good shape. if you notice here, I'm tilting this back as far as it can go, and it'll make enough weird noises to make you think you're breaking something, but you want access to this. The white part that you see down deep inside of here is the part you want to stay, and the black part is the connection. Now the part that you need to snap off is the part that's the lowest on the mirror itself. This would be facing the ground over here. So there's the mirror just to orient it so you know where you're at. And you want to get the screwdriver down in there and snap that off. It doesn't, all the plastic seems pretty sturdy, so I don't think I would actually break it, but it still makes me nervous to do that. And I'm going to have to shut this off because I need to get my hands in here to do this. From wrestling, I finally got my screwdriver. Let me see if I can get that to focus there. I've got my screwdriver underneath there, and I'm just going to pry up there, and you can see that one that popped off right there at that hinge point. Once I get that first one off, the rest of it should be a little bit easier. There, it just popped right off. And now, the other thing I discovered is, in order to get the rest of this off, you need to tip this whole unit back over because it's going to be stuck right here in the corner. I had all kinds of problems trying to figure that out until I just bent it back to straight a little bit. And then you're able to pick this up and this comes off. Here are the two wires for the heating elements on the mirrors. And they come off without too much of a hassle. So I was able to get that off in both parts. Now, get this back over here. Here's the inside of the unit. I just need to take this screw, and this screw off, and this whole unit will come right out. Okay, I've removed the 3 screws as they are and taken the broken unit out. I will make sure I clean this all up. I had duct tape on it because it took me a few days to get to this and wait for my part to come in. But I'm going to get this all cleaned up and then have that ready to go. And right now I need to remove this section again because this is the part that I want to keep. I know that my wiring is all functional. Now this simply chases around right here, and it's just this screw, and this screw to remove, and this will come right out very nice and easy. Okay, I've removed that part. This is my good wiring harness and my good motor set up. Oh, look, and there's even a spider. And now I'm going to thread that into my good part off of my junk mirror, and then just rethread everything wiring-wise back to where it was. And it's pretty simple to do that. Okay, I've gotten the good part onto the good part, screwed that back in, rethreaded the wire back down to the tube where it was before. Now I'm going to take and put this back into my unit. Which takes a little bit of wrestling, I see, but once that comes where I wanted it to, we're in good shape. And now just to screw these 3 back in here, and I should be pretty good.